your best.
Okay. Overall, do you think video games affect how college students fare academically?
I don't think it's the video games specifically that actually affect grades or how students perform academically. I think it comes down to a matter of if a student makes a choice to, like do homework, focus on school, or spend some time playing video games. It's all about balance. So if a video game, completely takes over your life and there's no time for anything else, then yes, perhaps that could sort of be a contributing factor to someone getting poor grades. But I think there's a sort of a more root problem there, which is that person allowing something like a video game to take over in that way. It could be a video game, it could be anything. So I don't think, I have to say no to answer that question. I don't think video games directly influence and affect students' grades, but if they make a choice to neglect their academic work for video games, then it could be a contributing factor.
What are your opinions on video games in general?
I love video games. I've been playing them since I was a little kid. I play them every single day. I actually teach an entire composition course that looks at video games as electronic entertainment. So I think video games are amazing. I think they're the most contemporary and intriguing version of art and storytelling that exists right now. And I love them. I can't get enough.
Do you think video games would help relieve stress from class?
That's an interesting question. I think video games, for me, definitely are a stress reliever. Certain ones. Other games, I think, are stress inducers. But for me, if I want to just wind down and relax, there are certain games that I will go play and kind of lose myself a little bit in them and kind of just be transported to those worlds or whatever. But then on the other hand, certain other games kind of are the opposite effect of that. So yeah, I think video games could be a very potent de-stressor for students. Sure.
Do you think UNCC should promote playing games if they help relieve stress?
Yes.
Like the games that would relieve the stress.
I'm not up on the research on that. I wish I was, but I think there have been some studies sort of looking at stress and stress relief and gaming. I know of some people in my life that do therapy, like game therapy. Like you can play video games as a form of occupational therapy or something like that. So yeah, I think if video games are beneficial like in that way, then yeah, I think it would be really cool for UNC to promote that.
Do you think video games are too distracting?
Too distracting. They certainly try to be. The people that make the games want you to be distracted by them. They want you to spend the majority of your time playing the game, leveling up, earning the XP, unlocking the stuff. So, as a gamer, it's up to the gamer to decide. Again, it sort of comes down to choice. Do I want this to become a distracting thing for me? For me, I've been playing video games like my whole life, all the time, and I've managed to, obtain a master's degree. I teach at universities. I've written 3 novels. I've done a lot of stuff. So I don't think they certainly can be. I think a lot of game makers want them to be, but it kind of comes down again to the person who's playing them to make them not be a distraction.
Do you think someone who plays video games daily would do worse academically than someone who doesn't play them at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's just a form of relaxation. It's a form of entertainment. It's just like watching an American Idol or watching a TV show. You're going to spend a couple hours doing something that is entertaining to you every day. And I think if you don't do that, it's more detrimental than if you do it.
Okay.
I say do.
Yeah, then you do it, yeah. Okay. Do you think people who play video games are generally angrier than people who don't?
I'm going to have to say no to that. I don't think there's a concrete link between playing video games and becoming angry. I've certainly had moments where I've gotten frustrated by playing video games and I've gotten a little angry, but I don't think that people who play games are angry people, and I don't think that angry people play video games, if that makes sense.
Well, I know some people play League of Legends and they're pretty
Yeah.
They changed a lot since then.
Yeah, I also know some folks who play Dota and League of Legends, and it can get a little... That's why I don't play those games.
The MOBAs,
I feel like
yeah.
getting yelled at by some random person because I don't know what I'm doing.
Could gaming... that's a poorly worded question, but could gaming increase the fallout of people dropping out of classes?
Could gaming increase people dropping out of classes? If the game's really good, no. I mean, like I said, I think it's just like anything else. If you let yourself get too hooked into something, then yes, it could totally lead to you dropping out of class, neglecting your academics. But I don't think that games themselves are like the root cause of that, or I mean, they could potentially be a contributing factor, but I don't think they're the root cause.
My brother's roommate at NC State, actually, he played a lot of League of Legends, and basically I remember he dropped out, or no, he went there freshman year. He dropped out his sophomore year to play the game. He went back his junior year. He dropped out again first semester. So.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly do that. Like this game that I've played for the last 10 years of my life called Final Fantasy XI, there's actually a warning on the game before you log into it that says, Final Fantasy XI can be a very, engaging experience. Please don't neglect your family, friends, or schoolwork for this game. It actually says that every time you, hook into it. So, yeah, they certainly can be that, especially certain types.
All right, well, that's it.
Cool.